I just douchebag. Come on.
I'm sorry, what? I like stuff.
Are we recording? Hello!
Hello.
Hello, friends and neighbors. Probably just our moms, actually.
This is our first segment, so it is probably just our moms.
It's actually our first episode.
First episode of I Like Stuff.
I like stuff
And
with
we
Hillary
do.
and Diane.
And
we
we
like
do.
stuff. And you know what else we like?
What?
We like to talk about stuff.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what we're going to do on this podcast, is talk about stuff.
that's it.
At the persuasion of Diane's sister, Elizabeth. What's up?
Hi, Lisa. Elizabeth. My sister has 5 names.
Your
Did
sister's
you know
name
that?
is Lisa and Elizabeth?
Well, it's Elizabeth, but
Yeah.
it's spelled with an S and a T-E at the end.
So it's Elizabeth.
Exactly, that's the Portuguese spelling because she
Right.
was born in Portugal and
Right.
the government at the time wouldn't let them spell it the English way with an H.
That's crazy.
So they had to register her name as Elizabeth there.
Okay.
And then when they immigrated,
Uh-huh.
she like anglicized the spelling of it and
Yeah.
they just write Elizabeth at school. But ever since she was a child, the family always called her Lisa since it's spelled with an S.
That's crazy.
So then in high school, she's like, oh, I'm going to be Liz now. So she has
Yeah.
high school friends since her name was Elizabeth that shortened
That
it to
call her
Liz.
Liz?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do
And
you
it's-
call her Lisa?
Well, it's hard. I don't know how
Well,
to
you
introduce
just
her
did
anymore.
call her Lisa.
I know. It's still
Is
impulse.
is that what you call her like when you guys are hanging out?
I try not to address her, to be honest. Because I know she prefers to be called Elizabeth.
Do you
and
call
it's
her,
hard for
hey
me to...
sis? But
Yes, we
what
do
about when
use
it's
sis
just
a
the two
lot.
of you?
Honestly, I will just kind
You
of...
just say hey? And because it's the two of you, she knows you're talking to her?
Yep.
All right, Elizabeth, if you're listening to this and you'd like to email us in and let us know what we should refer to you as from now on, we'll give you our email address at the end so that
So
you have
get
to
it.
listen to the whole thing. All right, suckers!
Okay, but back to our
Okay, so here's the
serious
thing. That was an interesting little
little
anecdote, though.
starter here.
Here's the thing. Diane and I wanted to just put this podcast together just as a way to, be artistic and
I feel like we're doing stuff.
feel like we're doing stuff. Because a lot of our friends could probably relate to this as artists. Sometimes when you're not necessarily working, you start to feel like you're not doing anything, and so this podcast is
Yeah.
the answer to all of our woes when it comes to not
Hopefully.
working. Hopefully.
And maybe, I mean, even
or maybe
if
this
you're...
will be the only one we ever do. Then we'll just go back to crying
We're really good at
all
that,
the
so
time.
that's good. But I mean, even if you're not an artist, I mean, I know a lot of sad people with English degrees
Absolutely.
who feel like they're not doing enough stuff.
So this podcast called I Like Stuff with Diane and Hillary is a remedy for all of you sad people out there. We're just gonna
That's my pen.
talk about stuff and hopefully have a good time.
This sound.
That's right. If you hear that during the podcast, that's Diane's pen.
It's just my pen. It's
Don't
not,
be alarmed.
It's not the cheap quality of this recording or anything like that.
This is a very high quality.
Oh, we're so
recording.
excited.
So here's the thing. So literally, we have a bunch of different segments. They'll be different every week. Sometimes they'll be the same every week. You just never know what we're going to talk about.
That's why you gotta
It's
listen.
a lot of stuff that happens in our lives, and a lot of ridiculous stuff happens to Diane and I. So we thought we'd share it with you, the world.
Yes.
So should we go right away
Let's
into
go
our
right away.
first segment?
So what happened to you this week?
What happened to you this week is what this segment is called. What happened?
What happened? What happened to you this week?
All right, Diane. What happened to you this week?
Well, last night I attended a little entrepreneurial event, like a networking event, and there was like this little game to win a espresso machine,
Uh-huh.
and I realized that my new impulse would be I want to win that,
Yeah.
but I have so many like old memories of thinking that and saying it and having like a person in authority kind of say, well, maybe somebody else deserves to win that. Maybe you
Right.
shouldn't be so selfish.
Right.
I'm sure you can relate.
It's true.
Like,
yeah.
remember as a kid, if there was like, I don't know, some fucking piñata or something?
Yeah.
You know, if there was a piñata and then you'd be kind of like, oh, I'm going to get the biggest piece of candy. Like my mom would always say.
Be like, somebody else might get it
Get the
though, and then you
kittens.
can't be disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was just a funny thing to be aware of, being 23 now.
Yeah, I'm 23 too.
Hillary's not 23.
I'm not 23.
But we're
300.
But to be, growing up and be aware that it's okay to want to be the winner.
Yeah.
It's okay to want to be the winner. And you can still be a really nice, considerate person, but at least you want to go out for the gold.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, that's the difficult thing about parenting, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this is funny for us to be commenting on it because neither of us are parents, but, like, you know, it's like...
But we've taught a lot. I know,
like,
kids.
absolutely. It's like, how do you make how do you make it okay for your kids to want to win, but also... Make them considerate and also... not devastated if they don't win, right? Like, you have to find that, like, happy medium balance kind of thing in there.
I guess the psychologist would say you don't make them anything, right? You kind of show by example, I guess, or I don't know, but I don't know what kind of enlightened, amazing human being can raise a perfect child.
I don't think anyone can do that. Well, clearly my parents have done a pretty good job.
I think people either come out wimpy or winners, and that's just...
And we both seem to be a bit wimpy.
We're both wimpy, hence we're trying to become winners.
Hence we're making podcasts to become winners. That's what we should have called it.
Trying to be a winner?
Trying to be a winner.
Well, if this one flops, then maybe
we'll
we can
start another one called Trying to be a Winner with Hillary and Diane, because this one is... I like stuff with Diane and Hillary.
Yes.
So we'll switch it around.
Good plan B.
All right. You want to know what happened to me this week?
What happened to you this week?
Okay, here's the thing. I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
I live with roommates, but, like, it's like we're
There's
not
no romantic
dating.
interests in the household.
So it's like we're friends and we're roommates, but, like, we have our own lives. So it's like a lot of the time we do stuff together, but a lot of the time we don't. So here's the thing. So the other night, I really wanted a festive special from Swiss Chalet.
I remember.
Diane was here and she had to go, so I was like, "Let's go to Swiss Chalet," and you're like, "I got a piece." So
gotta go home
I was like, "You know what? I have." It's so sad. I have no food to eat at the house. I was like, so then I was like, I'll just go and pick it up from takeout. But then I was like, by the time I get it home, it's gonna be cold, and I'm gonna have to because it was pretty cold out that night. I'm gonna have to warm it up, and it's never the same. And so I was like, well, screw it. I'm just gonna go to Swiss Chalet alone. There. It's like I honestly I don't have a problem doing stuff alone. I'm an only child, so it's like I'm super independent.
You've been alone your whole life.
Yeah, I've been alone my entire life. It's just been just a downward slide of sadness. Anyway, so
you go to Swiss.
So I go to Swiss Chalet, but I'm like, you know what? I'll just take work with me to do. So I had some
your armor,
my armor, but it's like I actually legitimately had the work to do.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't have a problem with eating alone. So I go, and the girl's like, table for one, and I was like, absolutely, please. And so it's like, honestly, it was fine. Like, nobody was like, oh, God, look at that loser eating alone. Well, they might have been, but I didn't hear them. But it was like, I ordered, I sat down, and I pulled out my work, and I started working on it. And it was great because, sometimes working at home is hard, right? Because you're like, oh, I really should clean the toilet instead.
Yeah.
But the thing that I thought was interesting was that the waitress had, minimal interaction with me. Not pity. It didn't seem like pity, but she would she came and got my order, and then I didn't see her again until she brought my salad, and then she was like, "Your order's coming right up," and I was like, "I'm not in a rush." I was like, clearly I'm working on something here, but it was just interesting to see that she I don't know. I'm like, was she being respectful
that you wanted to be alone?
Yeah, that I wanted to be alone and that I was working, or was she like, "Oh God, this is so awkward," and I don't know what to say to this sad alone girl? But I was just not sad at all.
Yeah.
Clearly working on something. It's just just having dinner alone.
Isn't that funny?
It's just interesting. I should have asked her. I should have been because she never came to see if my meal was okay, which is just bad waitressing. I mean,
true.
But and it was fine. I was eating. I didn't need anything. I would have called her over if I needed anything. But yeah, so it's just so interesting that she sort of kept her distance from me, and I'm not sure if it was she was awkward or if she was being respectful of the fact that I was working. I wish I could go back and ask her now.
And just be like, "Miss, do you feel sorry for me?
Did you feel sorry for me? Because clearly I was not sad. I was alone, but not sad."
It's so funny. I don't think as a society we've been able to open our minds to that. There's still this belief, I think.
Yeah.
With at least people our age. Or
that if you're alone, you're sad.
Yeah. Or if you're with people, you're happy.
Right.
And it's I've been really miserable in large groups.
Totally.
you know,
Or
and
even
come
like
home.
one-on-one, I'm like, why am I with this
I'm
person?
like, shit, you're like sucking my brains
Yeah.
dry of
Or
any.
it's like, what if I'd been on like a first date that wasn't going that well, but people would have seen me with somebody else and been
Right.
like, oh, she's got someone, you know, like, and
yeah.
I'm just like, but this date sucks.
So
Yeah,
funny.
it's just interesting. Like, I know, like, I'll go to the movies by myself, or I'll
Yeah.
go see a theater show by myself, and
Me
the
too.
people, like, I know some people that are like, I would never do that. And I'm like, but once you go to the movie, once the movie starts, it's not like you talk to the other person.
No.
Well, I mean, you do if you're an asshole, but
Exactly.
like,
And maybe that's exactly what you're steering clear of.
you know what I mean? It's just, so it's interesting. So, you know, if you're listening to this
Yeah.
and you have something to share, if you have something to share
In
or would
general.
like to talk to us about anything that you hear on here or otherwise, something maybe you want to hear us talk about,
Yeah.
we do have an email address and you can email us and we'll check it and then, and maybe we'll talk about it or share your story if you'd like to share something with us.
But
Again,
since it's the first episode, we're going to do a big reveal of the
we'll give you the email
later.
address at the end.
It's
So you gotta
really
keep
good
listening.
email address.
It's a
It's
good
so
email.
clever.
It's genius. It only took us 3 hours to figure out.
Well, it's amazing what's not available.
It's true, but
There
that's
is-
another story.
Yeah.
That's for another podcast. All right, so that was what happened to you this
What
week.
happened to you this week?
I like it. Okay, moving on to our next segment. It's called...
Huh?
What just happened? I don't know. It makes me scrunch up my face and go...
Huh?
Okay, so here's my moment. I just did laundry the other day. Okay, do you have laundry in your house?
I do. Luckily,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so I don't. So I have to go
Shitty.
across the street to the laundromat, which is whatever, it's fine. I don't understand. Every time I use the laundromat, I look in the washing machine before I put my clothes in there and there's nothing. I look inside the dryer before I put my clothes in there and there's nothing.
Nothing.
And every time I get home with a sock that's not mine. Every time.
That's gross.
Do you want to
and
see
strange.
it today? I'll show it to you.
I do want to see
This
it.
sock is not mine. Look, it's like half sock, half pantyhose. Like, look at it. It's like, that doesn't, my calf wouldn't even fit in there. It's not even stretchy.
Oh my god.
Look at this. That is not my
This
sock.
belongs to a small Italian woman who lives on St.
So
Clair.
it's like, I swear to you, I looked in the laundry, I looked in the washing machine, I looked in the dryer. No, nothing.
Look how
both-
worn out the heel is.
Someone who walks on their heels. So it's like,
missing their
so it makes me wonder if like somebody like is watching and then like the moment I leave they run in and put their laundry in with my laundry and then before the timer goes they like take their laundry out. Could that happen?
It's very possible.
But like honestly, I swear I looked in the washing machine and I looked in the dryer and they were both empty. Like I turned the barrel around in the washing machine.
or just a couple items, right? Like sneakily.
It's crazy.
Sneakily being cheap.
Well, I got your sock.
Times are tough.
I got your sock, random Italian lady.
It is for sure
Oh, that
Nonna.
heel
That
is
is
really worn out.
Nonna's sock right
This
there.
is like clearly that's not my sock, right?
No,
It's like where do you even buy these?
the Nonna sock store.
The Nonna Sock Store. So, does that ever happen to you, folks? If that ever happens to you, or you have a suggestion, or maybe you are someone who runs and puts their laundry into somebody else's laundry, don't do that!
Don't do that, but we still want to
We
hear
want
about
to hear
it.
from you.
We want to hear about your
So
stuff.
that's today's huh?
Huh. I don't really have a huh.
You don't have a huh. Well, maybe next
Not
week. you'll
really.
have a
Well, my
huh.
whole life is a huh. You know, I wake up and I'm kind of
I'm
like,
huh?
huh? I thought I'd be a millionaire by now. Shit.
Why
right.
do I still live in a bachelor apartment?
Crap.
Why is my roommate making smoothies at this hour?
All
All right. Okay. So that brings us to our last segment of the day. We're almost done here, folks.
Hang in there. Hang in
Hang
there.
in there. Everybody hold on to your pants.
It's almost over.
This segment is called
Tidbit of information. Timbit.
not tidbit.
No.
I learned that from somebody in the news broadcasting program at Sheridan College, where I attended with Diane. We were in the same class there.
Yeah.
Somebody came to interview me for a show that I was doing and asked me for a timbit of information.
That poor girl.
That poor girl's probably works with us now at our part-time jobs. Anyway, so today's timbit of information. Now, while we give you our timbit of information, we will be eating
A timbit.
timbits.
That's how it's gonna go.
Diane, which timbit have you selected for today?
I am having the little honey cruller one.
Ooh, the honey cruller. It's
It's-
barely a donut.
I love it because it's mostly air.
It's mostly air. That's bullshit.
air and sugar.
No, I don't want that.
Love it.
I don't
And
want.
kind of wet, which I also enjoy.
Why is it so wet?
I just like it.
That's
It's the best
disgusting.
texture.
You're disgusting.
I'm all about textures.
I'm going to
love-
go with the polar opposite of the honey cruller
Mm.
and enjoy the chocolate cake donut.
Ah.
It's like, you might as well just throw that directly in the toilet.
Yep.
Like,
All right.
Oh, okay,
Well, enjoy.
today, because it's our first tidbit of information, I actually have 2 of them for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready for both.
Here's
tidbits.
tidbit number 1. Almonds are members of the same family as the peach. Did you know that?
How so?
Well, they're part of the same family.
Huh.
They're both a member of the same family. I don't know, I'm doing a hand gesture right now that is making it very clear. Members of the peach family. No, it's not a member of the peach family. The peach and the almond are both members of the same family, which I find interesting because almonds have like a cherryish flavor.
I don't think they have a cherry flavor. I think the pit and the almond casing is similar in texture.
There's no pit. Oh, the pit of the peach.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
You don't think almonds sort of taste like cherries?
Cherries? I thought they were peaches.
No, they're members of the same family, but don't you think that almonds taste a bit like cherries?
No.
I think they do. Have you ever had marzipan?
No.
Well, you should.
Maybe like in a
it's
cookie
delicious.
or a cake.
Yeah, they have like a cherry, like amaretto is like
Almond.
almond, but it tastes like cherries.
Huh.
I'm telling you.
You might need to get your taste buds checked.
I think maybe you might need to
Check
try
your-
some marzipan. All right.
Timbit number 2.
Tidbit number 2. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain.
That's probably my problem.
I know a lot of people like that too. It's true.
The eye is bigger than the brain.
Isn't that crazy?
You know what? But what a great way to live. You know, you see a lot. You're like, oh, look at
Whoa!
that. It's so amazing.
What is that?
I love it. Ostrich.
Ostriches. But, I mean, like, an ostrich is a big fucking bird.
And it can't fly, right?
Just
Just runs around.
I don't know. I don't think they can fly.
Aw.
I don't know. Have you ever seen an ostrich fly? No, they can't because
Not
they keep them
lately.
in like they keep them in like a cage with no top, so they must not be able to fly.
Aw.
But like, it's a huge bird, and like its brain is tiny. That's kind of excellent.
Those were great tidbits, Hill.
Thanks. I had another one too that was I read somewhere that the goldfish's memory, it has a memory span of 3 seconds, but I don't think that's actually true. I'd like to debunk that.
We should get
That
some
myth.
goldfish.
I had a goldfish. I had a couple of goldfish in college.
And try to train them and see if they remember so we can do.
Well, here's the thing. I had a goldfish named B. Arthur, and B. Arthur was the greatest goldfish of all time.
Aw.
She died, unfortunately. But B. Arthur, like, when you fed her, like, when you feed a goldfish, you sprinkle the food on the top, right?
Yeah,
and then they swim up. But, like, if I would go over to the bowl to look in at B. Arthur, she would come up to the top.
Aww.
Like, thinking that I was going to feed her. But if she only had a memory span of 3 seconds, she wouldn't be able to know, like, when
To
she
remember.
comes over,
That's
when
right.
that giant brown-haired girl comes over, I get food, right?
That's true.
Like, consistently, every time I walked over to the bowl, she would
was
come
an
up.
exception to the rule.
She was a great fish.
Aww.
Yeah. I wish she was still here now.
Is it time to reveal the email address?
That's it. So, actually, you got 3 tidbits of information. Oh, I said tidbit, but
Oh, it's
I
gonna
meant
be hard.
tidbit.
It's gonna be hard.
But
That's
the
why we
third
had to
one, I'm
get-
not sure about. The third one, I think I'm debunking that rumor with my B. Arthur story.
All right.
So that's it for us, folks. Here's the thing. We'd love to hear from you. If you have ideas for us to talk about, if you have something you'd like to share, if you have a response to something we've spoken about today.
We just like stuff.
We love stuff. And we love your stuff. And we want you to give up your stuff to us
And write us at giveupyourstuff.
at gmail.com.
Again, that's give up your stuff.
At gmail.com. And that's all one word. Give up your stuff.
Give up your stuff.
So, write in. We thank you for listening. Mom,
And
Diane's sister,
who shall remain
who
nameless.
shall remain nameless. Maybe we should just call her by all of her names. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to hear Diane and I do a kick-ass rendition of Chiquitita,
Let's
write into us. If you think we suck, write into us. We'd love
yeah.
to hear about
Oh,
that.
I can't wait for the hate mail.
Like Justin Bieber, we love the haters.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Have a
friends.
good day, everybody.
Is it up? It's still up?
Douchebag.
Come on.
I'm sorry, what? I like stuff.